Let me pull this up. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y'all give me a 1, 2 if y'all can hear me in the building. I don't know if I've ever done 3 live streams in a day, but here we are with another live stream. I'll be on my brother Tony's channel. Let me open up my eSword app because I believe we're gonna be talking about the Bible today in some form of capacity. What the hell? Where am I? Hold up. Okay, there that go. What the hell? Let me see if I bring this over here. Let's bring that there. Boom. Something ain't right. Hold up. Desktop. What the hell? Okay, there we go. All right. 1, 2. Yep. Y'all funny. What can I talk about before I go live? Before I join his it's 8:30. Let me go ahead and click his link. Y'all see I got the link pinned to the top. So if anybody want to join, and you got a question, a challenging question, if you think you know the Bible better than me, of course, you can go ahead and click that link and then ask your question and we see how it goes. All right. I'm just clicking his link to join his. Let me put slap you in the truth. Captain slap. Hold up. Slap you in the truth. Tazaryach. I spelled it wrong. Let me go ahead and enter it. Display name. Now I'm backstage. What's going on, big bro? I'm good to go. Pour my tequila, so in case you Christians get unruly today. Now, yeah, you know how they go. You know, it's been a lot. Hey, man, you been seeing what's going on in Israel? Like on the Israel side, man, it's been a lot. It's been all type of effery going on over here, boy.
I mean, we could talk about that because I don't.
I don't not listen. What's fun? I don't mind talk about it, but you know they get mad when I start talking about all the wickedness going on in Israel. They like we ain't supposed to talk about it, but there's a lot of evilness.
Talking about on YouTube or just in general?
About real life, like that cat Gorilla Hebrew, he out there getting pegged and buying dildos. Yeah, pimping out his wife, all kind of stuff, man.
Oh man, that sounds kind of Diddy, you know?
Yeah. Kind of Diddy. I think it is Diddy. They out there saying no gorilla out there.
Oh man.
Now you'd be surprised the Israelites try to act like it ain't happened. Like they not that it didn't happen, but they don't want nobody to talk about it, man. I want the heavens to talk about it, me personally. So we can learn a lesson. So
you can talk about whatever, man. It's an interview.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, so I know it's an interview, so you're gonna be asking me, questions. So, ain't no question you can't ask me. You could ask whatever question you want. So and then what I did was reason why I asked you was you taking any calls because I had put the link for the live and I pinned it to the top. So if anybody wanted to join the live stream, they could join. So
cool, not a problem, man.
Yep.
Let me know when you're ready.
Born.
All right, I'm gonna start at like 10 seconds.
All right, no sweat. A open rebuke is better than secret love to secrets of the Holy Bible. You should learn that.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin. Welcome to the Tony Harvin Network YouTube channel. If you like, hit that subscribe button listed right here. After you hit the subscribe button, if you want to receive all notifications of videos that come out on this YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and select all after you hit the notification bell.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. This is regular conversation number 267, where we here to have Captain Tazaryach of the ISUPK in the interview, man. Welcome back to the channel, Cap.
Hey, what's going on, man? It feels good to be back. I like coming on Tony's channel, as everybody knows, man. I haven't been on in a while, and I hit him up yesterday, and I said, "Hey, man, what we doing this week?" So here we are with a good old interview. Um, who knows where it's gonna go? What questions are gonna get asked? You can ask, whatever question. Greetings to your chat. I see you, so Drago, if I'm saying the name right.
Yeah.
Nina Russell. Known Unknown says he got a question already. So whatever questions y'all have, you give them to Tony. We'll answer them. You can click the link and we'll answer them that way. So, I've been busy. I just got back from Atlanta Sunday, I think. I have because our Passover is April 12th. So we got a Passover coming up in Atlanta April 12th. So we was down there doing some promoting for the Passover. So I had linked up with the brother Ugly Money. He does a podcast where you see him going at women and stuff like that. So I did an interview with him, did an interview with brother Rich, linked up with my brother Tommy Sotomayor. If everything goes well tomorrow, man, I might be on a live stream with Sotomayor and a very entertaining guest. So I'm working on that. So just busy trying to do, the best I can to push the truth, be a good representation of the Most High. And so that's what's going on.
That's what's up, man. Sound like good moves out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Show. So tell the people about the organization that you're in, ISUPK. What made you join ISUPK? And somebody had a question earlier that I jotted down, and they also asked, what's the difference between all these so-called Black Israelite camps like the IUIC and other camps out there? If you can answer that.
Okay. So what made me join ISUPK specifically was I was told that was the truth where everything started. So ISUPK was founded in 1969 and I joined in 2010. So of course that's a long time. And since that time, and this kind of answers the other question, since that time, you've had other groups that came out of that original school of ISUPK. And so when I wanted to learn, I didn't want to learn from a break off of the school because I always feel like if the origin is still around, like let's say if you have a company, I remember I used to work for Woolworth Express back in like 92 or something like that. That was like my first job. My first real job was Woolworth Express, Jersey City, Journal Square. But Woolworth Express is gone now. It don't exist. So if I join, let's say a Walmart, which is kind of like a retail store like Woolworth was, I'm not joining a break off of Woolworth Express because Woolworth Express expired. They're out of business. So when I was in this journey, we all like to say in our journey in the truth, I came to a crossroad of different Israelites teaching this, different Israelites teaching that. And so I just asked where was the truth at, and I was told it was ISUPK. So because that foundation was still standing, I didn't want to go to a foundation of that foundation. I wanted to go where it was, which was ISUPK. So that's for me why I chose ISUPK. And I didn't know the name was going to be ISUPK, but I just wanted to go where the foundation was that the Israelites, especially of my ilk, because you got like Old Testament Israelites. So they would probably have an origin of their own. But for my Israelites, I wanted to go to that origin, which is why I went to ISUPK. When you get to the differences in why you got different organizations, people always say it's over doctrine, but it's never over doctrine. It's always going to be over somebody's lack of brotherhood. You're seeing that now with Sakari. Sakari is an example of not having a good enough brotherhood, no matter who is right or who is wrong. It just wasn't enough brotherhood to keep them together. Whether you go with Deacon and Hassad stepping away last year, whether you go with the scandal that you have now with Ariala exposing Guerrilla Hebrew and all the nasty stuff that they were doing, I didn't want to be a part of that because when you become a part of a break off and you it's like if you and I join together and we're about unity and then brotherhood, and then I leave you. Now we're about unity and brotherhood, and all they see is me and Tony having this unity and brotherhood, and then I'll leave you complaining about you, but then I'm going to tell these new people, come join me, and we'll have brotherhood. It's lessened a little bit. Like you ever see the in the book of Daniel when it shows the gold, the silver, the bronze, the clay, like that in the book of Daniel? Are you familiar? Yeah,
I've heard of it.
right. So you know how the gold is the Assyrians, you got the Persians and the Medes, you got them. But the reason why you start with gold and then you go down to silver, XYZ, is because each kingdom, the first kingdom started out with gold, which is the greater metal. And then as you got to the next kingdom and the next kingdom and the next kingdom, the metal got lesser because the value of those kingdoms, although those kingdoms was established, those kingdoms was lesser than the gold. So for me, I believe that when you start at a foundation like ISUPK and then you create a break off, it's not that you can't establish whatever organization you have, because you can, but it's not going to have that same level of brotherhood, because if the foundation is brotherhood and you left because of lack of brotherhood, I just don't think that you can really teach true brotherhood if you left brotherhood. And then what do you see happen? You see this person break off, that person break off. So even with the Sakari scandal, you got brothers breaking off from there, and then you got Ariala, he breaks off, and as he's saying he loves his brother in one breath, he's bringing out the most shameful things you can bring out with a man in another breath, and then at the end of it saying, I'm creating my own group. So now he's creating a break off group, and he wants you to believe that he's going to have brotherhood with you. So for me, I needed to go to a place like with Commander General Hanna, for example. Commander General Hanna never left anybody. They left him. He stayed at that school. He stayed at that school, wanted to build that brotherhood up. And so the only reason he's in charge is because all the men that outranked him left. So it almost fell by default. It wasn't something where he went and took for power. And that says a lot about leadership too, because when you think about the leaders in the Bible or the prophets in the Bible, a lot of them didn't want to do it. Moses didn't want to go by himself. The Most High had to give him Aaron. Jeremiah didn't want to do it. The Lord had to told him, I would confound you. Elijah had to get taken up in the chariot because that's how hard this work of the Lord is. What did Ezekiel say? Ezekiel said, my people, I send you to a people that are at a hard, in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, it says, I send you to a people that are hard-hearted, because that's the children of Israel. And doing this job, if you don't have a sound mind, I'm gonna read this verse. This is Ezekiel 3 and 5. So Ezekiel 3 and 5 says, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. And that's a cut in itself. What the Lord is telling Ezekiel, if I would have sent you to another nation, they would have listened. But I'm sending you to verse 7. It says, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, but they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. And so that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with our people. So if you don't come with brotherhood, and even when you come with brotherhood, it's still a hard job waking the children of Israel. For verse 8 says, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint, have I made thy forehead, fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. So the Lord gave us an information in our brain that's stronger than the information in our hard-headed Israelites. So for me, ISUPK is a foundation that can withstand hard-headed Israelites.
Wonderful. One video I saw, I believe, on your Facebook, right? Your group was in the park working out, learning self-defense techniques.
Right.
And I don't normally see that from like whether it's those Christians or anything like that, or any other groups out there. What importance you think self-defense plays in general when you're serving? I guess.
Say that one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I heard you just fine. Okay. You said
what importance does self-defense that y'all think plays a role in life?
Self-defense is important. So like It even before you even get self-defense, fighting is important because when you take black men specifically, when you look in any black community, in the Bible, and David said, "Teach my hands to fight." In the Book of Psalms. So even in the Bible, you'll see some. I'm just trying to find the scripture. So now it says Psalms 144:1. It says, "Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight." So black people in general, and just like any human race, and human people in general, can be violent. You know, they can be aggressive. Now, if that's without any morality, that aggressiveness is why you see the black on black crime that we experience, because there's no morality no morality to it. So before we even get to the self-defense, you can't take lions, have them out of the cage running wild, and then the only answer you give them is putting them in a cage, and now they can't exert this energy that they have, because what's going to happen is they're going to try to fight to get out that cage, and then without discipline they'll go right back to the same violent anger that they already had. So what we do in the Israelite School of UPK, we have what's called Hebrew Academy, where we teach you how to control that aggression that you have. We teach you how to carry yourself with a level of discipline to where even if someone is acting irate, or that someone is battling you with words is like, I remember when I was growing up, they had this phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones," right? But words would never hurt me. Like, Tony, you old enough to know that phrase, right? I'm pretty sure people in the chat have heard the statement, "Sticks and stones may break your bones." But in today's time, words hurt everybody. I mean, you say something, you say stuff online, you talking about people's mamas now, you talking about people's kids. There's no respect factor at all, especially on social media, because like right now I'm in my room. So if I was I'm in my den or whatever you want to call it. So right now, if you made me so mad, I could start just talk about your mama, your grandmama. They could be alive, they wouldn't even matter, because I'm in the safety net of my own room. And so you can't see me, you can't touch me. So what we do is we create a discipline. Hebrew Academy is about fortifying your members, creating a certain level of discipline to where you don't react to someone's words. Physicality, you react to, you respond to, but then they have to attack you. And so there's ways that you defend yourself. So we don't teach people, the training that we do is not for our brothers to go out and attack anybody. It's to teach them how to defend themselves properly. So even if you know how to fight, you may not have the discipline to know when to fight, when not to fight, when to let something pass, when to not let something pass. Because when we go to camp, for example, we got rules at camp. Like that person at camp could be saying all type of crazy stuff, and you got to sit there and take it. You can't do nothing. Now, if they attack you, then that's different. And even if they start attacking you, you have a camp leader that controls if we attack back. So, because when people get angry at what we're saying, if we say God don't love everybody, that might anger some people. They might start yelling words. They might start saying F you. They might start saying you're this or you're that. We don't get bothered by that either while we're out there. And so that's what Hebrew Academy is about. It's about teaching self-discipline to control your spirit. Like the Bible say, in your possession, in your patience, possess your soul. Luke 21:19. It's Luke. I might have the verse wrong. It's in Luke though. And so as you get patience, you can possess your soul to where when it is time to exact any self-defense, you know, when you get to that point, you've used every resource to avoid the violence. And then
cool. So you know, the areas that we from, whether it's Jersey City, North New Jersey, East Orange, Camden, you know, there's a lot of violence going on in that area. What is your take on that? You know, versus people, you know, back in the day, we used to knuckle it up out there in the hoods. Versus, you know, in these days, they quick to run to a gun to unalive somebody.
You said the part where you said before you said knuckle up. What did you say before that?
What I'm saying is, you know, in these days, a lot of the youth, a lot of the young people, or just in general, they quick to run to a gun quickly to unalive somebody versus knuckling up, how we used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
You understand? What is your take on the violence that's going on in these urban
I
areas.
think that's indicative of not having fathers
Mm.
and acting like women because the mothers is raising them. Like when you think about it, mothers are not disciplinarians. Like the single moms is forced into a position. Now, I'm not going to speak from a point of blame. So I'm not saying how they became a single mom. I'm not blaming them if they kicked the man out the house or anything. But when a single mother is raising a son, she's at an automatic disadvantage. Even if she makes her voice deeper or strong to sound like a man, it's going to look retarded to a boy. It doesn't sound like, doesn't have the same powers. It's spiritual in some regards because a father can look at the kids and they know to sit down. A father could just say, "Hey," and everything stops. That's the power of a father because children inherently know daddy don't play, but mama do. So now as a single parent, you trying to control. I remember when I was coming up, if I got too out of pocket, my mother would find my father, whatever drug den he was in, is like, "Hey, you got to get Tyree because Tyree is wilding right now." And my father as a dope fiend would come around, and I was afraid of that nigga as a dope fiend. That's how powerful a father can be. Now, part of that comes from my mother respecting my father even as a dope fiend. So I'm looking at it, and that's what women don't realize either. If your child hears you disrespecting your father, the child doesn't understand your pain of the relationship that you had with this man. The child doesn't understand that he might have did you wrong or he got another girl. A child don't understand. All a child hears is you're treating my father with disrespect that I came from. How can I ever learn to respect anybody? That's the lesson that we're teaching. So when you have these kids growing up with these emotions, another thing, child molestation plays a major part too with the aggression that these young kids are having. You start going into some of these kids' lives and seeing if they was touched. I was doing a show the other day, and young boys, we was talking about stories with boys that were molested by girls. What's the Jonathan Majors just came out with that. Jonathan Majors, the actor, just came out and said when he was 9 that he was molested by men and women, by family that was supposed to raise him right. But because they didn't do that and they molested him, it's a wonder that we don't have that history with him. But now imagine in the black community, because the one thing that you can hide in the black community openly is molestation. It's like if you touch a kid, they protect the predator. They have no concept of protecting the child. Chris Rock made a funny joke when they was like, you got that uncle molester, and he was like, where they at? He with Uncle Johnny. Get him from Uncle Johnny, and then if Uncle Johnny do something, and they get mad at him for being around Uncle Johnny, but nobody ever says kick Uncle Johnny out the community. Get Uncle Johnny away from the kids. So there's a lot. Kids are overlooked when they're young, and then when they get into the teenage stage, we think they're adults, and they're not adults. We talk to them like adults. We don't treat them like children. We have lost parenting skills. That if I go one more, the drug epidemic, like it's a lot that goes, like when crack came, and like a lot, like we're talking about 2025. So let's say even if you went back 13 years, that's only 2012. So when you think about what the crack did, what it created with single parents, to where we think single parent homes is the normal. We don't think, like we think that if you grow up as a single parent, that's a good thing. Like it's not, because we're seeing it generationally. My generation saw a mother and a father in the house, but as the generations kept getting further away from a family structure, we are seeing the results of it. And so that's why you see a lot of that in the black community.
Cool, appreciate that. So what is that? Amen Hotep? That's how you pronounce it? All right, what's up, man?
How the brother's on? I was just listening to brothers speaking. It's very, there's a whole host and a whole complex of issues that affect black people, black communities. And a lot of the different dynamics are not new. I was born in the late 50s, so All I knew is strong men, strong black women, grandfathers, grandmothers, so forth and on. And so my generation, coming up through late 50s and 60s, we cut from a different cloth. And the thing that discourages me a lot is that a lot of the younger generation now, where they say the millennials and I just guess Generation X or Z, they have no respect for the elders. They have no respect for the grandparents. And most children today, in the below the millennial level, their generation, their kids are being raised by their grandparents. You see, so that's taking extra wear and tear on the grandparents, who should be basking in their golden years. So there's a whole host of reasons for that. It could be economical, it could be education, it could be a number of things. I, for myself, I'm a independent student of the United Compensatory Code System for thought, speech, and action for victims of racism and white supremacy in the areas of economic, education, entertainment, politics, sex, war, religion, labor, and law. I've been a part of many organizations through my coming up, and you know, I'm a spiritual person. I'm a cosmic person, and I'm an energy being. You know, so there's no one fix, and no one has the exact answer. You know, you see, I was scrolling through some of these podcasts, and there was I came across one with the WAC 100, and I believe brother Captain Zar talking about the Nation of Islam and its impact, positive or negative, on the black community. Now, I was a member of the Nation of Islam, Mosque 54, under Minister Samad Muhammad. At that time, Captain Shaheed Muhammad was the regional captain, and Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was the national spokesman. It discourages me, even though this is not, you know, I know on podcasts people say things, and just as you said, you know, when you're talking behind the screen, you can say pretty much anything you want.
Right.
People do, so you can't see them.
Right.
But if you're talking to people face to face, the weight of your word and the tone in which you're talking.
Right.
There's people that hold certain people in organizations that they were used to be affiliated with or non-affiliated with now and non-active, that hold some of these people in high regard. So when you start talking about making comparisons, whether it be on just a social stratosphere or on theology or doctrine, and comparing both Hebrew Israelites to members that are in the Nation of Islam, that can kick up a lot of dirt, a lot. You know, that can cause a lot of friction, because we don't need no more friction. We don't need any more infighting or outside fighting, because we already have a whole host of provocateurs and agents already camped out in the organizations and in the community on a daily basis. But I would just advise and suggest, when discussing differences or having different opinions about the direction in which we should go, and how we vet people, and what collectives and organizations we're going to be a part of. You know, and because religion is one of those areas I try to stay away from. You know, I don't belong to any religious organization. I don't think I need to join any organization. Any organization under whether organized religion or disorganized religion. I let the people that do that best do that. And if they're working for the liberation of black people, wherever we may be, I'm down with that. You know, I'm not an FBA, I'm not an ADOS, I'm not any of that. But if they're working to stop some of the violence and some of the madness and some of the destruction, self-perpetrated destruction, because we know it's going on, I'm down with that. But I don't, at my age, I don't think I need to join no organization. I am my leader, I am my critical thinker, and I am my advocate and spokesman. All right.
All right.
You good?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you got no questions or anything like that?
Well, I agree with what the brother was saying, brother Captain. I believe what he's saying. You know, discipline, self-discipline, and manhood training is essential. Self-defense is essential. Calisthenics is essential. But first of all, you know, if you can't control your thoughts and your speech, you can't control your actions. So those have to come under some kind of structure to where you're operating at a maximum potential of manhood, that where if a situation pops off, you can make a distinct decision on how you're going to react to it based on critical thinking or rational thinking.
Appreciate that. You know what I mean? All
Yes,
right.
sir.
I got another question for you, Cap.
Yeah.
I see you, you know, you exercise a lot and stuff like that. How important is health and wellness in general, you would say? Because in these days, you see a lot of people, you know, they go to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, and they get Chinese food for lunch,
Right.
and then McDonald's for dinner, and they don't work out, they don't take care of their bodies or nothing like that. So how important is health and wellness in general?
I think health plays I think a major part. You're reading. I'll see if I can find it. It's in the Apocrypha. I'll see if I can find the scripture as I talk. But health is extremely important. You know, health is subjective, so everybody's not gonna. Like, I remember when I was in the white man's military, if you weighed, there used to be a weight limit. So at my height, believe it or not, at my height, like I'm 6'5", and at my height, they said the max I could be might have been between like 180 and 220, something like that. That was like the max for my height. But now let's say if my body structure, if I had, like, there was this corporal that had a fat neck, right? And because of his structure, because of the size of his neck, it meant that his body weight was different because of his structural size was different than my structural size. So because of that, he wasn't even as tall as me. He might have been like 5'10", but he can carry more weight because his structure was different. So that's how they would look at your weight. And I say that to say that everybody's like, sometimes people think you're overweight. Now, I'm not talking about somebody that's like 300 pounds, something like that. You do got to have a weight limit there. But when it comes to health, you really got to go into your family history to see if diabetes is in your family history, high blood pressure is in your history, alcoholism is in your history. Like, if you find out why you can't stop having a drink every day, and not just having one little drink, you over drinking every day, it could be you have a history of alcoholism. When you find out why when you eat spicy foods, you have the response, it could be high blood pressure. When you with the sweets and all that stuff, it could be diabetes. So you should be at the doctor checking your health. You should be at, when we get over in that high age, as much as you don't want. You know what I'm dreading right now? Going to get that. What's that test where they got to go in your rectum to test it? What's that?
Colonoscopy.
Woo,
Colonoscopy.
Listen, Lord be with me with that colonoscopy.
Don't forget about the endoscopy.
Yeah.
They go through your mouth.
Listen,
they look into your stomach cavity.
Yeah, I'm fine with going through the mouth. The colonoscopy goes somewhere that only Gorilla Hebrew want to go. No, let me stop.
Oh, bro, come on, bro. Come on,
only Gorilla Hebrew want to go through that route for the colonoscopy.
Come on, bro.
He's a willing participant, so like it. But
well, brother, can I just ask you this, brother? Just to interrupt you for a minute. Have you had that test, or they're recommending you have that test?
No, but I'm at the age where they say I should get the test. I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. So normally it's required based on body mass index, weight, and also age.
Right. So I'm at the age where they say that I'm at the age where they say I should do it. One scripture, this is a brother put this scripture in the chat. This is one of them, but it was another one I was looking at. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus 30:25. It said, a cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet. So even as you get older, right, you know what I lean off of more is red meat. Now, a lot of people may not know that when like red meat is one of the slowest digesting meats that you can have, and as you get older, the length of time that it takes to digest red meat, you might want to slow down eating a lot of red meat. Or if you do eat red meat, eat green vegetables with it because it helps with the digestive system. So I pay attention to all that. Like I work out. Like if anybody that follows me, you know I do a Car Chronicles. The Car Chronicles is at the gym, meaning I sit in the car, I go live before I go to the gym. So I'm going to the gym like 4 to 5 times a week. So all of those things are important. But even with going to the gym, even with working out, you want to make sure you're taking your vitamins, and you want to do healthy checkups, whether it's every 6 months, once a year, whatever it may be. You just want to make sure you do that.
Cool, appreciate that.
And you know, and another thing I just want to add on that what brother said is, you know, having a overall health, or having a physical based on your potential medical issues you're having, or chronic issues you're having.
Mm-hmm.
Also, your diet. You have to cleansing,
right,
and fasting. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not an active member of the nation, but I still haven't ate pork for about 40 years. You know, so
right,
and that's just on principle of the concept and the understanding of the pig, the origin of that type of animal. But at the same time, I would say that a lot of brothers need to, and I served in the military also,
right.
you know, and I went in 76.
Okay.
So I know, you know, all that discipline, all that training, going through boot camp, AIT, being deployed, all that type of stuff. I understand that. You know, most of the men, both my older brothers and my father, went in the military. My older brothers served in the Vietnam War,
Right.
1 on 2 tours. My father served in the Korean. He was a DI, which is a drill instructor during the Korean War. But the urgency and the emergency of us as a people coming up with some mechanism to straighten us out, straighten this, you know, to straighten this thing out with what's going on now, because they're taking a wrecking ball now to the very system that was designed to at least give us a safety net. Well, we know we were not the main benefactors and benefactors of that whole New Deal and DI and all that. And now everybody wants to debate everybody. Everybody wants to confront everybody.
Right.
Because I when you were in your truck, in your car, brother, you were talking and taking calls, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, would you debate me? I text, you know, I'm in hotel, would you debate me?
You're actually,
yeah, and then you said,
okay, now we're getting some.
Yeah, and then you said, but brother, I don't know you.
Right.
You responded, brother, I don't know you.
Right.
So I'm saying now, in real time, I would never ask you that again, and I don't want to take a debate right now. I don't want to challenge you to a debate or agree to a debate because
you see me stretching, right?
Oh, that's what you do when you oh, okay. But no, you don't have to do all that, brother.
You ain't hear the intro? This is the body bag session. You didn't hear the intro?
No, sir, I didn't.
Sound like you waking up something.
Oh no, brother. I know you. I know you. See. I know you're very rooted in what you believe, and you put it. As a matter of fact, you and I met. You know, but you didn't. I saw you, but you didn't see me, so to speak.
And we couldn't have met.
Well, we met. You may not remember, and I can tell you where it was.
Did we speak?
Huh?
Did we speak?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We spoke. I walked right across the street from the bus stop and went on the side where you brothers was posted up with the speakers and the information you had, and you looked me dead in the face. You had on jump boots. You had on some black fatigue. You had on a black bomber jacket.
And what happened?
You had
what happened?
huh?
I don't. You giving a whole.
I just walked up to you and asked you some questions about some things, and you gave me a.
I'm gonna try to be cool because I don't need you to undress.
You gave me.
I don't need you to.
You get no. Don't go there, brothers. Don't go there. We don't need to do that.
Black
But
boots.
no. Listen. If you've been in the military, you know we train to do that.
All right, let's get to it.
You know we. So and the thing is, you gave me the instruction or told me the number to call to the brothers that do the research, which are in the brothers that do the research in the organization. I just left it right there, walked back across the street.
But what
and got on my bus.
Okay, what are we doing right now?
Well, right now, I'm just saying that I'm saying to you, I'm saying to you, you debated God logic, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you debated God logic, I observed and noticed that you really didn't go in, like go in, because I've seen you go in. You know, really go in and challenge every statement a person makes or every rebuttal to anything that you say as it relates to Israel and who are the true Israelites. What's the judgment, dietary laws, so forth and on. But I don't do that. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I ran into a brother in Los Angeles.
Saying right now,
I ran well. Basically, what I'm saying is that where do you believe all of this challenging brothers to debate, whether it be Muslims and Christians or Christians debating Muslims? What's the undergirding of that? Because I see a lot of that now on podcasts and on.
Right. So the Bible says to debate thy cause. That's in the Bible. Right.
Okay.
So when you debate, the debate is like, even in one of my favorite outside of Jesus Christ, my favorite prophet is Elijah in the Old Testament. So in Elijah's time, they were serving a god by the name of Baal. And so Elijah rolled up on 450 prophets, and they're like, it's 450 of y'all, it's just one of me. Let's battle and see whose God is real. And after Elijah proved that the Most High was real, he unalived them. And then that's how the people learned. They learned from the battle. So when you take Islam, when you take Christianity, when you take a 5%er, when you take Kemet, when you take these different belief systems that's purportedly to be about God, to lead or mislead the people depending on who's talking. If I'm indifferent to that and I feel like that's destroying my people, the only thing I can do to convince my people is to show my people the fallacy in what they're following. So if it's Islam, I have to show them that that's a rock that they circle 7 times. If it's Christianity, I have to show things in Christianity. And so in debating who they believe in, like people believe in God logic. God logic went back to battling Muslims. He don't battle Christians no more. I'm screaming Israelites no more. He went right back to his specialty of debating Muslims. And when we were supposed to do a round 2 in California, God logic has ducked me. I was supposed to go out to California to do a part 2 of that debate. He doesn't want to do that. So when you can make that good old Christian that everybody believed in run back to the Muslims, that's what people need to see. Because if they're strong in their faith, it's usually because of a man that they believed in. So you have to destroy that man. And so it's always like that.
Okay, so is that something that's taught in the camp?
Well,
is that something that's taught in the camp?
That's something that's taught in the Bible. Did Christ battle?
Well, it is said that he did, because I'm saying that, like, if I'm walking down the street, which I did, and this was in Los Angeles, brothers was posted up.
As an elder statement, I know y'all like to give them long stories. I know y'all do, right? So I understand why you speak in the fashion that you speak. But just for time's sake, Christ battled all the time. Christ battled the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and Christ would beat the hell out of them. He would cut them so bad they would try to catch him. They would try to arrest him. They would
Mhm.
try to harm him because he was cutting them. So we're not doing.
So when I'm just walking down the street going to get a loaf of bread, and the brother, hey brother, do you know have you heard? Do you know that you the chosen people? And brother, why your face is shaved? Why you ain't? So
That's
that
not,
part
I
of
wouldn't really look at that as a battle. That's more so a teaching. They trying to wake you up. If they say, you know, you the chosen people of God, that's them trying to teach you.
Yeah.
A battle.
Yeah, and I think I stood.
Yeah.
And I think I stood there 10 minutes with the brother doing his presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't move me, but he wanted to go in to further drill down on which side or what organization or what God I should be following. And I just told him, I believe you have a right as a sentient being to believe in whatever God you choose to believe in. And if you believe that is the most high or that is the supreme God of the universe, I don't have no problem with that. So that's the reason what I was leading up to. Everybody wants to debate or persuade people to believe that their theology or their belief system or God is the one true God of the universe.
Okay.
That's it. Good.
Yeah. So I'm glad I had a chance to talk to you, brother. So next time I come even on your show when you're taking calls, you should have some general idea of who I am.
So,
is that cool, brother?
Yeah, I mean, okay, no sweat, brother.
Yeah, because and let me also say this and retract this. It's not necessarily that I will not debate you.
Right.
I'm not trying to debate you now. But if I do reach out to you to debate you, because and see, there's no and also there's no.
You know, we have a radio show we do every Thursday, 10 p.m. You can always join and debate and do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah. Okay. Then so I'll do that. And if I decide that that's best in the interest of people that are within earshot or visual awareness of the debate, I might challenge you to that, brother.
Well, Lord be with you with it.
Oh no, if he is what he is, and if he, him, they is them, then he's already with me, brother.
He is, they is them.
Well, let's look at Genesis. Let's look at Genesis. We might be going to a debate.
About to battle? Are we about to battle?
We might.
Yeah. For time's sake, nah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Nah. Because
the whole set.
Let me just give you a tidbit.
Brother, slow down. The brother said the host said to slow down a second, brother. You had your shot. I asked you about 20 minutes ago.
Well, no, but see, you bring that out of people, brother. Even if you're not saying let's debate. Because when I first made a statement, just you started stretching and pulling on the rope.
Listen, no. What you brought up debate. I thought you was about to turn up. I was just letting you know what's
because I was getting
wasted 20 minutes. True. I think we got other people. Yeah, but I think
okay. Well, I'm gonna get off here, brother. But when we do, next time I reach up to you, brother, we're gonna be dealing with when did the Septuagint come into existence?
Okay.
The 5 books of Moses. And was Moses an African or Cushite, or was his wife Zephaniah a Cushite?
All right, no sweat, brother. You take
care. Okay, brother. But I'm gonna reach back out to you. All right, peace.
All right, peace.
All right, brother. Later.
You know, the older gentleman, man, you gotta get him a pass sometimes. That brother. He was like them old cars, they got to warm up. He warmed up. He was like, yeah, I'm ready to debate now. 20 minutes later, that car was warming up.
Oh, man. Wow. All right. We're taking a question from the chat room. He says, do y'all fellowship with any other camps?
Yeah, we have. I fellowship is such a Christian term, but when we, like last year, for example, when we did our cookout in Atlanta, you had different groups come out there. Is that the only school? I think New York They always come out. I went to like Lions of Israel, Daniel. I've gone to things that they've invited us to. So sometimes we do.
Cool. Mr. Hebrew asks, he said, I used to follow you on Side Netta, but I'm with the TOG. Hope all goes well. And I've always wanted to know about what you do for a living. Do you work like a Hebrew? Okay.
I don't know what work like a Hebrew is, and I don't know what TOG is. It sounds like talk.
Truth of God, Geno Jennings.
Oh, truth to God. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. But I own a business. So you see these fly ass. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. So you see these fly ass body butters right here. You see my oils. This is my own special cologne that I made. When you slide that box up like that, you see my own special cologne with it actually, since we talk about my business, I actually have my logo engraved on there. You can see that Carl Gas engraved on there. This is called Infinite, specially made by me. I also have this hair crack if you want your hair to grow. I have living testimony of this hair oil. I have two different types. I have the original one, and then I have one with tea tree oil that helps soothe your hair if you have real extreme itchy problems and stuff like that. I got beard oil, so that's you know what, that's primarily what I do. So I have a business that I've been running for about 5 years now, since 2019, technically 6 years. April next month would be 6 years that I've actually been running this business successfully. So that's what I primarily do as far as my profession goes. Now, my actual profession is as being a priest, but I don't get paid for that. So I don't get paid to be a priest. I do that work, but I'm assuming he was asking how do I earn a living? I don't know what work like a Hebrew means though. But what the hell is work like a Hebrew? Oh, maybe he's saying work like a slave, maybe. Because the Hebrews were slaves. I don't know if that's what he mean. But if you want the best body butters, man, you know, like I'm right now, if you go on, like I sell on Etsy and Amazon, and if you go on my Etsy page, you'll see I'm what you call, let me see if I could pull the shop up. I'm what you call a star seller. For those that don't know what a star seller is, a star seller is someone that has over your customer service staff. I'm just wait, hold on. I'm gonna share. Can I share my screen real quick, Tony? I just want to show this since they asked about my profession. Let me go ahead and promote my business real fast. So this is right now what you're looking at is my customer service stats. So what this means, it says, congrats, you earned a star seller badge for March. So what that means is that your message response rate, you have to have a target of 95%. Mine's is 98. That means when somebody messages me, because customer service is important. So the service standard is you got to have 80. You to be a star seller, you got to be 95. My response rate is 98. Your on-time shipping has to be 95. Mine's is 97. Your average review rating, the highest you can have is a 5.0. You have to target 4.8. My review rating is 4.9. 4.9. The case rate, what the case rate means is that out of all the orders that you've had, which as you can see, I've had 492, I got 0% where there was a case where somebody didn't get their product or there was an issue. They didn't get their money or, didn't get a refund or anything like that. So you don't have to believe me. You can believe the people. So I just wanted to show that real fast. And again, I sell on Amazon and Etsy. So if you want to smell fly, look no further than me.
Cool, appreciate that. All right, another question. Joyce says, do ISUPK unalive a sheep during Passover and why?
Do we what? Unalive sheep?
Yeah.
We have what's called slaughter the lamb. So the lamb for the Passover, we do that according to the law, but we do have, so like the Passover starts April 12th, but we'll be there April 9th, where we do slaughter the lamb, where we kind of keep the tradition of how our ancestors were actually unalive the lamb. Sometimes we don't just do lambs, we do lamb, we can do chicken. We did a cow, I think, one time. and then you watch it get cut and everything. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, that meat that you get from that lamb when you go on that farm and get it there is way better than the meat that we get in the supermarket. So we do it according to what the law says for the Passover, because that's what the law says for the Passover. So the way you get the lamb, that's how we do it. But we do have a annual slaughter of the lamb during that week where people can come. You go to the farm, you can buy the lamb, you can cut the lamb. I've done it. I cut that lamb's throat. That blade be sharp as hell too. Like you can't even do like this. You do like this with that blade, you getting stitches. That's how sharp it is, because it gotta cut. You gotta cut the lamb in one. Like you gotta. It's interesting because to do it, you gotta lay the lamb, because the lamb knows that it's about to get slaughtered. So the whole point is to have him calm while you're doing it. So when you lay the lamb down, you rubbing his head, you rubbing his neck, then you take that blade and it's cut. So yeah, we do that. Yep.
Cool. All right, another question. Drago says, Cap T, y'all get along with Nation of Islam? I want to add to this question too.
Okay.
Also with Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all look at all Christians the same or different sects of Christians? Like, because Catholics call themselves a Christian, Mormons do.
Right.
And that, because a lot of us thought that all Hebrew Israelites were the same.
Were the same, right. And then y'all see that they're different. So like the example you gave, Christians, I've never called a Roman Catholic a Christian. I've always called them a Roman Catholic. Yeah. Because you can see there's a direct difference. Like Roman Catholic believe in perpetual virginity of Mary. Even though Christians believe that she was a virgin, they don't believe that she never had no other kids after that. They believe that she had kids. They believe that her and Joseph had children together. The Roman Catholic Church believed that they never had sex. She was a virgin her whole life. They believe that she never had sex to get Christ, never had sex after Christ, and was just perpetually a virgin. So there's differences there. Their concept of the angels and the saints and stuff like that is different. If we're talking specifically about Christianity, it could be blanketed. But when we're talking about Christians, we do make a difference, but it's usually after we find out the difference. So like if we don't know, so if I know a Baptist and Methodist, I know they're different. But if I'm talking to someone and I just know they're a Christian, until they explain to me the type that they are, you have that blanket just Christian terminology. So you're thinking 7-day worship, but then you find out, no, they don't worship on Sunday. They do it on the Sabbath, on the seventh day. So once you learn the differences, then you can make a difference. But at the outset, we just take a blanket Christianity perspective. And then as we learn and we make a difference. With the NOI, we don't, what I've found out, I used to think that the NOI was the same as the Arab Muslims. It wasn't until I went into it that you find out that the NOI is a totally different type of Muslims than the Arab Muslims. The NOI believes that Muhammad was white. As racist, the NOI gives this perception that, they pro-black like that. But you can hear the speech of Elijah Muhammad saying Muhammad from the Quran was a white man. You can see Farrakhan saying Muhammad was a white man. I've never heard that until I actually heard it myself. So you start finding out the differences between them. So when you say get along with the Nation of Islam, they're an enemy spiritually. They're not an enemy as a brother. So when we go around them, if it's just, hey, what's up, brother? And, you having a conversation with them, that's one thing. But if it goes into, being a Muslim or being an Israelite, that's when there's a battle. It's no different than a Christian. Like Tony is a Christian. Have y'all ever seen me and Tony argue? You have not. Tony lets me do whatever I want on the show. We have not had an issue, even though I'm an Israelite and he considers himself a Christian. There's no reason for us to be at odds unless he would try to come and convert me to Christianity, or I try to convert him to being an Israelite. Then we may have a battle. So that's the best way I can explain it. For us, we're all Israelites. So in my book, from my mentality, Tony's an Israelite. Tony's panel, if they're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, they're Israelites. The Nation of Islam, they're all Israelites. They just follow a different belief system. So when I speak to him, I'm going to speak to him as a brother. But if we start getting into the belief, then there'll be a difference there.
Absolutely. I make one correction with Christianity.
See, look, now he's going to teach me something else. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't a part of that.
Oh, okay. No sweat. See, now Tony just taught me something. Tony just taught me he ain't a part of that. You know what I mean? I respect why you ain't a part of Christianity. All y'all out here weeping for Tammuz with the 40 days of Lent. Y'all out there, y'all celebrating them 40 days of Lent. Hey, do y'all in the church, do they still put them quarters? Do they still, when I was going to church, they used to have that Lent thing in the church and you had to fill it up with quarters for the 40 days.
Oh, no, we don't.
Yeah, well, that Baptist church I was in, let me see, 40 days of Lent with the quarters. I'm gonna see if I can find it with quarters. Because I remember in the church, my mama had me and they had them 40 days of Lent. Yep, it said you can use coin folders to collect 40 quarters, a total of $10 for Lenten offerings, which are commonly used to encourage sacrificial giving during the 40 days of Lent. Y'all out there weeping for Tammuz, man. Y'all better cut that out. Ash Wednesday. They about to do all that nonsense.
Yeah, we don't do that, man.
Somebody said I was in a Lutheran Protestant church. You might be right. As a kid growing up, you don't know what you in.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because that's the custom. Yeah. What the church I went to celebrating Halloween. When I got older, I'm like, how is you about God and you got us worshiping this wicked holiday? Yeah. You know, Easter egg hunts and stuff like that. So you just doing whatever. So that's what I remember the church I went to.
Yeah. Same here. We got a question. Dorothy Sims says, as a mother with 2 adult sons, how do I suggest to them they need to see a doctor regularly, even if they are feeling well and looking healthy?
As a mother of 2 adult sons, you should, if especially if with the fathers, let's say if they kind of won't go and they looking healthy and stuff like that, give them your family's health history if you know it or learn it. You get their father's health history. If you know it or learn it, and then tell them, hey, when I turned 30, I got high blood pressure. I didn't know. So this is how you can avoid it. I got diabetes. I got this. You got to give them your historical health chart to encourage them why they should go to doctors. We have, like, black men specifically, I think is genetic. One thing I think is passed down, whether you say spiritually, DNA, genetically, is black men have a fear of going to the doctor, a fear of being looked at as a specimen, because of course, our history in America, we've been the specimen from buck breaking and putting us out to the front. We are always the specimen. So we have this subconscious fear of going to the doctor. We don't want to be looked at. We don't want to be picked at. So you have to break down to them that psychology. So you got to, what I would do for the mother, I would give them their health history, their health chart. I would show them the importance of what that means, and maybe give them the history of how subconsciously they may not want to go to a doctor, because going to a doctor helps you. It doesn't help the doctor, it helps you. And so that's what I would start there. Starting with their health history is the most important part, because if they know in their history there's these health issues, that may help them do it.
Cool. What is your take on Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is good. Donald Trump is great. And the reason why I say, before y'all use that as some soundbite, is like, for an Israelite that teaches the evil of the white man, Donald Trump being in office makes our job easier. Because let's say if Kamala Harris would have got in office, black people would have thought they won something. She'd have been black to them, even though she East Indian, XYZ like that, and they would have seen we won. All this twerking meant something, which is crazy. Sidebar, like, people got mad at Snoop Dogg for performing for Trump, but wasn't mad at Meg Thee Stallion for twerking for Kamala. Like, not realizing you endorsing Kamala Harris, who has a female twerking and gyrating. And so when you tell your daughters to look up to Kamala Harris, and she got this woman twerking, you're also telling her to look up to this woman twerking. So how could you be mad at Snoop Dogg and not be mad at Meg Thee Stallion for what she did? That's a hypocrisy that exists. But with Trump being in office, what is he doing in office? He's getting rid of everything black. At least that's what we think. So with the DEI, we think that that's affecting black people. But when you go into the research, you'll see that DEI never benefited black people the way that we thought. It benefited more white women. Like when the DEI, which was the diversity, equity, inclusive, whatever the acronym stood for, white women took advantage of that. Gays took advantage of that. And then we was on the back burners of that. So if the white man had to pick between a white woman and a black person, they're gonna pick the white woman. So she took more advantage of it. But because it was created to address the disproportionate hirings of black people, and we looked at it as a black thing, when Trump got rid of it, and we come out and call him the devil, or we come out here and call him wicked, we don't get too much brushback. We don't get too much brushback from black people now when we talk about the evils of America. So when I say Trump is good because that type of wickedness needs to be put in our face so that maybe something will galvanize black people to patronize and support other black people. As hard as people fight me, like when I'm on Tony's channel, they want to fight me to God loves everybody. When I'm outside, they want to teach me God loves everybody and I gotta love white people. You ask them same people how much support do they give to their own people, and you ain't gonna see it. If a sister starts a business right now, I bet if I was to scroll in the chat as I was talking about my business, how many people clicked on that business to even look at it? How many people said, damn, he's a star seller. Let me go look at Amazon. Let me go look at it. Let me see if he got something that I like. How many people did it? We don't. But if they bring out them ugly ass Balenciagas shoes, them shoes is ugly. Or if Michael Jordan what they call them, retro Jordans, they will die over those. They will shoot each other over a sneaker. They will look at that and say, that's what I need to get. Like this oil that I got that smells, this spray that I got costs $20. They won't buy this, but they'll buy a Tom Ford bottle that costs $150. They'll buy it for $200 just because it says Tom Ford, just because it says Gucci. So we need something that provokes us to stick with us. So Trump start messing with your black history. Let's build together. Trump start messing with your economics. Let's build together. That's what we're supposed to see in that. But what black people are going to fight for is the next 4 years, we're going to get somebody better in there that's going to care for black people. But we've been following that same psychology since we've had the right to vote. Since we've had the right to vote, the whole pipe dream now is getting the right president in office that's going to care for us. But we haven't had the right person yet. And so that's how I look at it.
Cool. Appreciate that. I got a question. You brought up Megan Thee Stallion, which brings me to this question. Do you think artists like Sexy Red, Cardi B, and more affects the minds of the young women out here based upon their lyrics and their music videos? Because I saw somebody put me on a music video and I don't watch them. Whereas though I forgot the artist's name, what's her name? Suki or something like that. She was twerking on it like a little boy or something like that.
What do you think about that? I never thought to put this right here till just now. Because I am a lion. I was trying to get my painting right here. I've had this picture sitting over there hidden. I might put an angle on it because I am a lion. That's the Lion of Judah. I was given this by this beautiful sister back in 2019 or 2020. I'm gonna have to change the angle of the camera. So now Sukiana's Sexy Red. That's another problem. That's another problem. And I don't know if anybody was going to ask this question. But what Kanye is doing, you know how they're giving Kanye all that flack, right? They go hand in hand. Because the masses is controlling what we see. So there's a machine that's out there that's putting Sexy Red in our face. To where now, because she says, bow, 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 it is catchy. The bass line is catchy. The music is catchy. Because all of that is catchy, twerking, first of all, I blame all the men for twerking. I don't blame the women for twerking. before we get to the twerking stage of Sexy Red,
Mhm.
it was Luke with the "Don't stop, pop that." That's a man. He was like, "Don't stop, pop that." That's it. Twerk, twerk. Like men are the reason for the twerking. Like we got a phrase in our school that black women would stop being 304s when we stop loving 304s. So we got now would accept the responsibility. Now, before we get after Luke, you had Nelly. Nelly had Tip Drill. I never used to watch BET Uncut, but I remember when they said Nelly took a credit card and slid it where it ain't supposed to be slid. So we can't just look at Sexy Red and say Sexy Red is the problem by herself. Sexy Red is a byproduct of the over sexualization of black men and black women that we've experienced. When you go back to Little Kim, right before Little Kim and Foxy came out in the 90s, people don't remember Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah had Ladies First, UNITY, Who You Calling a B? That's the music that women were putting out. It wasn't the whole, I'm going to take this ride, I'm going to do this. That wasn't promoted. And then Biggie and Jay and all of them came out and they got Lil' Kim. I used to be scared of the, now I throw lips to it, handle it. Like now she's coming out raw dog. Straight up and down, raw dog. What do we expect? Like, so, and then the machine behind it says, okay, we're going to get rid of the Queen Latifahs. We're going to get rid of the Lauryn Hills. And now this is the only music that we're going to push out. This is the only music that we're going to pump out. So we don't even see, when's the last time you seen a good female artist that wasn't twerking? Like when's the last time you seen a good female rapper that wasn't twerking? I ain't seen it.
I don't even know.
I ain't seen it. So the problem is not the Sexy Reds, the Meg Thee Stallion. Like they're a problem. I don't want to make it seem like they're not a problem. They are a problem. But the bigger problem, like you can't, what's this way to say it? You can't attack the children without attacking the parents as well. And so Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, they're the children. The parent is the machine. Nobody ever attacks the parent. So I would rather attack the children. And in the black neighborhood, when you see that child and he going wild and he ain't listening and stuff like that, you'll say, man, he ain't got no good parents. The music industry does not have good parents. The music industry does not have a governor. The music industry just has a bunch of people that want to make money at the exploitation of black people, and we are choosing to accept it. That's why I said what Kanye West is doing goes hand in hand, because what Kanye West is doing is he's forcing you by using that swastika, by using what he's doing as far as attacking the community. He's forcing you to now sit there, and he said it best. He said, if you could exploit black people by promoting the twerking, the gun violence, and the killing, why can't I use this to exploit what you're doing? Because now Kanye West is attacking the parents. Kanye West is not attacking the Sexy Reds. He's attacking the small hats. I'll use that word. He's attacking the small hats. And he's winning because they're trying to shut him up at every turn. They try to shut him up and they can't shut him up at all. So he's winning. So yes, I hate Sexy Red. I hate Megan Thee Stallion. I hate all that twerking. But until we attack the machine that's throwing it in our face, it's not going to stop.
Wow. All right. Question from the chat. Patterson. He says, Captain Tazaryach TV, according to your studies, what was the first biblical church called?
Israel. So when you see the word church in the Bible, let me see the word church. Let's look up the word church. I'll show you why I say Israel. So if I just do a search of the word church, and I say unto, and this is Matthew 6:18, I say also unto thee, thou art Peter, and upon this rock will I build my church, if I cross-reference that with the KJV, that word church there, hold on. That word church there, it says from a compound and derivative of calling out, that is concretely a popular meeting, especially a religious congregation. It says Jewish synagogue or Christian community of members of earth or saints or heavenly. So I would say the first church is what Peter established, because it's the people, and that would be Israel. So in the Old Testament, it wouldn't say church, it would say congregation.
Cool. Another question. SV says, do you believe that only black people could be saved?
No, I believe only Israelites could be saved. Black people is a well, I'm not a pro-black person. A lot of people think that because I'm black. When I say black, it could be a condition. But for the children of Israel in North, Central, and South America, they are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as well as the Israelites that are scattered all across the four corners. So I wouldn't say only black people could be saved. I would say only Israel could be saved. So if you're an Israelite, because you could look black but not be black. Like I always say, like Bob Marley looks black, but we wouldn't look at him as black as an Israelite because he has an Edomite father. So only Israel can be saved.
Cool. All right. Big O asks, is your faith called Hebrew Israelite?
I would say my faith is called Israelite, not Hebrew. Hebrew is more like a language we speak. So saying Hebrew Israelite is saying a Spanish Puerto Rican. Spanish is the language they speak, but Puerto Rican is what they are. Dominicans speak a similar language of Spanish, but they would still be an Israelite. They still would be a Dominican. They wouldn't be a Puerto Rican. Same thing with a Mexican. So even though they speak Spanish and you might say that's a Spanish person, you're going to go by the ethnicity of what they are, what they identify, whether it be Mexican, Puerto Rican, Panamanian, etc. So I would say I'm an Israelite. That's my faith. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hebrew is the language that I speak. And so even when you see Hebrew of Hebrews in the Bible, that's like saying, and sometimes we say, hey, what's up, Hebrew? That's about the language that we speak. So it's just slang that we would use.
Cool. All right. SV says, you consider a black, I guess a person who touch on kids as your brother just because he's black with a question mark. For example, I was going to bring a question up about polite, and I'm going to add on to this. What do you think about, people like that in positions of leadership and organizations like that who get built up, whatever the case may be, and then they get caught for crimes like that, touching on kids?
Those are not my brothers. None of them. None. Polite ain't my brother. Listen, if you're a homosexual, you ain't my brother. So for sure, a child molester is not my brother. Now, and I'll give you a biblical example of how you cannot be a brother, even though you are a brother. In Matthew 18, I believe it is, right? So in Matthew, 1 second. Is this it? I'm trying to see. Give me let me see. Is it Matthew 18? Hold on, let me search this word. Bear with me 1 second. What I'm looking for my audience, I believe it's Matthew's 18. When if you got an ought against your brother, yep, it's I had the right chapter. I don't know how I missed it. So in Matthew's the 18th chapter, it says, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, and you go tell him his fault between him and him alone, you have gained thy brother. When you get down to verse 17, this is after the brother don't hear you, the brother don't hear 2 or 3, you go before the church. If he neglect to hear the church, then you treat him as a heathen and a publican. Now that's just someone that won't restore brotherhood with his brother. So even though he's still an Israelite, because he neglected to hear counsel, you treat him like a heathen. So even though Polite technically is a brother, because I think his father's Panamanian, that's a heathen. He's not my brother. When he gets out of jail, just like I'm talking about Gorilla Hebrew and the nasty things he did, for those that don't know, Gorilla Hebrew wanted to get pegged in his behind, ordered the pegging device, wanted to watch his wife get sexed by a white man, sent her videos to coax her into getting sexed by a white man. So he can watch. So he wants to watch. It's called cucking or cuckold, whatever it is. So he wanted to watch his wife. That's not my brother either. That can't be my brother, because how are you that and you're promoting prostitution, adultery, homosexuality? So people like that are not brothers. Now, let's say if someone coming from the world lives an alternative lifestyle, and when I'm saying alternative, any sin against God, you can repent and be born again. But you can't repent and be born again and then still live this wicked lifestyle. You can't do both. So no, to answer that brother's question, a child molester would not be my brother.
Cool. All right, Miss Joy asks, do you agree with Jamal Bryant boycotting Target?
Yes and no. It's a good gesture if something came of it, and I don't think anything came of it. At most, they say, "How long we boycotting? We boycotting for one day." I wasn't gonna buy none that day anyway. Yeah, we straight. Like, what comes like a boy? Like, when Martin and them did that boycott, when they did that boycott, that's the most impressive thing. I just want to shout out, a brother gave a super chat donation that says support black business family. Can you gift a couple of bottles to new customers? Yes, I can. So what this brother did, and this is what I like. So remember I was saying earlier when I was talking about my business, did anybody go to the website? What this brother Maxwell Smart did on my channel was he gave a $200 super chat donation, and he asked me if I would gift bottles to new customers. So for Tony's channel, the people on Tony's channel, I'm gonna gift 5 people an oil. So 5 people on Tony's channel. I want y'all you can either hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. You got to send me a screenshot of you watching the live stream. Give me your name and address, and I will send you a free bottle of oil based on the brother giving that super chat donation. So I'm gonna just say it again. You got to send me a screenshot of you watching this live stream with me and Tony. You got to give me your name and address, and I will send you a free bottle of oil. And I'm gonna give you an example. Brother Jonah is an example of why we can't have good business, because you see how he said no one wants that? That's why black business don't go nowhere. So the brother on my platform gave a $200 donation. I then went to Tony's platform and said I would give them for free based on what this brother did. This is why even what Jamal Bryant is trying to do with the boycott of Target, Brother Jonah represents the problem of why it won't work, because black people won't support black people. But I bet you Brother Jonah would argue with me about God loves everybody. But a black man offering to buy and free gifts to black people, and then I honor it by wanting to give it the free gifts, Brother Jonah says no one wants that. He's the problem. That's Ezekiel the 3rd chapter when it says I send you to a people that are hard-hearted and impudent. Brother Tony is an example of that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Brother Tony. Brother Jonah, my bad. Look, Tony said, now correct that right now. No, I meant to say Brother Jonah, and that's trash. Like, he's a piece of garbage. The question, can you say the question you was asking again? I just wanted to highlight that because he did give a high super chat donation.
It says, do you agree with Jamal Bryant's boycott of Target?
So what Brother Jonah just did is why Jamal Bryant's Target boycott won't help. Because black people don't want to boycott and help black people. They don't. They want to pretend at the surface level that they want to help black people. But in reality, they don't. But when Martin Luther King had that boycott of the buses, that was one of the best times, because that's when it actually helped. There was actually something that was done. The problem was when he did it, he decided to use that power to integrate and didn't realize he was destroying the very black businesses that we now trying to fight to get back. So it's a good spirit, but it's not going to work because we don't have that type of discipline, unfortunately.
All right. SV says, what's the difference between a natural Israelite and a spiritual Israelite?
A natural Israelite is one that's born an Israelite. So even during the time of Christ, the Pharisees were all natural Israelites. A spiritual Israelite would be the Israelites that follow Christ. So the disciples would be natural and spiritual. The regular Israelites would just be carnal. What makes them spiritual is that they follow Christ. So a non-Israelite can't be a spiritual Israelite because you're not a natural Israelite. That's the criteria. So that's the difference. If you don't follow Christ, you're not a spiritual Israelite.
Cool. Got another question. Dor, you says, what do you think about, what is that? Kahan?
Kahan
Tazaryach?
I don't know who he's referring to. I don't know can you ask him if he's talking about the Tazaryach that just died a couple years ago? Because I don't know who he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
either.
I know who he may be talking about, but before I assume that's who it is, if you could just ask him if that's who he's talking about.
All right, cool. Shelly House says, you're talking about long hair. You says, if God said men shouldn't have long hair, why do you?
I don't have no long hair. Is you crazy? First of all, look, wait. So I done had a brother message me the screenshot. Shout out to the ones that actually pay attention, because I got people messaging me on my Instagram with their screenshot so that they can get the free oil. So shout out to them that are messaging me. First of all, God doesn't say long hair. You talk about when Paul says it, just to get who's actually saying it. And the scripture says by nature. So what nature means is where your hair naturally grows. If I was to get extensions, like, what's weird, sidebar, I be seeing videos where men is getting extensions in their hair. Men is putting them wigs on with the dreads already made up and the braids already made up, man. Listen, man, if you losing your hair, you're just losing your hair, brothers. You ain't got to get the weave in your hair. But where your hair grows naturally, when it says does not nature teach you, because all men, hair is not absolute. You got some men and women that grow long hair, they grow short hair. So he's just saying that where your hair grows naturally. So my hair, when I had my hair, because I used to have braids before. So when I had braids before, my hair probably came to like right here. It didn't go no further than that. But you got some brothers' hair that grow a little longer. That's just where their hair grows. And even long is subjective. It's not an absolute thing. Just to answer. I hope I answered the question.
Cool. SV says, so you wouldn't consider Louis Farrakhan as black since he has a white father. Have you ever discussed this with someone from the Nation of Islam?
Yeah. Well, Farrakhan, I haven't discussed it in depth with anybody. They don't say that what I'm saying about him having a white father is wrong. But Muslims believe as long as anybody on your side is white, black, it doesn't matter. So from an Israelite position, we look at it, if your father is white, you are white, because we go by the seed of your father. Most black people believe as long as one of them is black, you black or you biracial. So that's usually the argument that I get with them. That's the argument that I usually get.
Cool. All right. Indoor, you says it's a YouTuber that practices law. I believe he's an Israelite.
Yeah, I don't know him. Yeah, I don't know that guy.
All right. Capricorn says, I have a question. Do women supposed to work, or is it a sin?
Proverbs, the 31st chapter, right? This what every woman that believes in the Bible, you ask them if they're a virtuous woman. I'm virtuous. That verse is talking about me. But let's see what the Bible says if a woman should work. This is Proverbs 31:10. I'm gonna read down. It says, who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Now, the point of need of spoil is he has no need to get goods unlawfully. That's the spoil, robbing somebody. That's what that's talking about. She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She's working now. This is like, I don't know where the concept of a woman doesn't work if she's married to a man comes from, but that's not in the Bible, because a virtuous woman worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hand she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthened her arms. So as you keep reading this, I'm going to read verse 23 rather. It says, her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders in the land. So based on her reputation of how she's working, the husband is known in the gates. So is a woman supposed to work, or is it a sin? Supposed to is too strong of a word, but a woman should work, and it's not a sin for a woman to work. With that said, your woman shouldn't be working while you at home playing PlayStation all day, while you playing Xbox all day. You know, you got niggas that, you know, want they woman is their mama. You know, your mama let you play PlayStation your whole life. Now you want to get with a woman that's like your mama so you can play PlayStation all life. So I'm not promoting that at all. A man should work too. That work could be the work of the Lord. That work could be your labor. Woman's work could be the work of the Lord. That woman's work could be her labor, but they both have to work in some capacity. I can't hear you, Tony.
How about now? You good?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. SV says, can a white man and white woman who's a spiritual Israelite join the ISUPK?
Can a white man? No. SV just sitting there making up questions. I'm gonna ask him this. I'm gonna ask him that. I'm gonna ask him this. I'm gonna ask him that. And crazy work.
Captain Zar says, do Israelites believe that the first person you sleep with, basically you're married to?
Yeah, once you come into the knowledge, like once you understand, you know, Umar Johnson, DDJ, Anthony Edwards, they're all going through the same problem because we don't know the value of understanding how important sex is. We put so little value on sex. You got some people that say you're not married till you get till you go before God, but you're having all the sex in the world. You have some people that say you're not married till you get that marriage certificate. The reason why God and his wisdom made sex marriage is because sex is the marriage. So what should we do with having that knowledge? Once you get the knowledge, like I've yet to read in the Bible that a woman had sex with a man and she was allowed to sleep with another man and it wasn't whoredom. I've yet to read that. I've yet to read that a woman was allowed to sleep with a man and it wasn't adultery. I have not read that in the Bible. And so now what are you supposed to take with that knowledge? The one thing that our people do not think about today, courtship. Courtship is just as important as understanding sex is marriage, because if you talking to somebody and you're gonna have sex with them first, figure out the relationship second, you ain't thinking about nothing. And how many of us in our lifetime have had sex with somebody and then you start finding out all the things you don't like about that person, and so you look for a way out, but you done gave the most important thing that has value to them, which is your body. Your body is more important than your money, your job, your status, your car, your house, anything. It should be so important to you that you don't want some random cat. You don't want Johnny to be like, yeah, I tapped that. You know, oh, you married up? Man, I tapped that. David tapped that. Carl tapped that. You don't want some random girl. Imagine some random scallywag that you were just drunk one night and you just had to get some, and you hiding from her when you see her.
Oh yeah,
because that's ownership. They own that piece of you. women, like, and women, I always like to say this to women the most because y'all are the more gullible than men. Men are taught to, I know when I was growing up, my daddy said to sow your oats, before you settle down, make sure you sow your oats, which was wrong. But that's the psychology of men. The psychology that men are taught is that you're supposed to sow your oats before you settle down. And you know who they sowing their oats with? The gullible woman that believes the lie that the men tell them. You ever heard that song Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah.
You know that's about a one-night stand, right?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Listen, man, Reasons, listen. If you ever listen to that song Reasons on Earth, Wind, and Fire, I pray everybody listen. That song is a beautiful song. Reasons, the reasons that we're here. And the whole time, the reasons is about what's burning inside of him and burning inside of her is the reasons that they're here. And then after they make love, you know what he says? Now he says, now that the love game has been played, all the illusions was just a charade, and all the reasons start to fade because he done hit it. Wow. And once you have sex with that woman, once you have sex with that man, all the reasons that brought you together is not going to keep you together because you didn't get together with the onus of staying with this woman, staying with this man. She had a big behind, big breasts, nice lips. He had a big arms. He had his, you see the way his chest is? You see his lips? Did you see he had waves? He looked like he got good hair. All of those physical reasons is why you had sex with him, but there was no mental connection. There was no spiritual connection. You don't know if he's a deadbeat. You don't know how many kids he got. You don't know nothing about her. You don't know how many bodies she got. You don't know if she had abortions. You don't know if this man was a closeted homosexual. You don't know nothing about that individual. And then one day you learn sex is marriage. And whenever I was just on this show with Ugly Money, when I said sex is marriage, all the women, it was like 6 women on the panel, all of their eyes like lit up. What is that? You mean everybody I slept with is I'm married to? And so I always tell them, it's once you learn the information, it's what you do once the information that you get. And so now once you learn that and how valuable your body is, because this society teaches you to devalue your body. They had something, one of the questions they asked on the show was like, should women go through a whole phase? That's crazy. To encourage a woman to go through a whole phase. And you know it ain't good because they call it a whole phase. What is good about a hoe? What is good about a hoe? So now when you learn to value your body, so say you meet a woman and a woman meets a man, and you start asking him about his sexual history. People devalue sexual history. You should know if that man had any sexual related diseases. You should know if she had any sexual related diseases. Do you ask how he grew up? Did he grow up with both parents? Because if he didn't grow up with his father, with his mother, that could affect him psychologically. If she didn't grow up with her father or mother, that could affect her psychologically. Now you're getting into the mental. What is his spiritual beliefs? Does he believe in God like I believe in God? Does she believe in God like I believe in God? Now you're getting into the spiritual aspect. And the whole goal is for us to be one flesh. And then the sex brings us to one flesh. So when you finally have sex with that man or you finally have sex with that woman, you're doing that so that you can express the greatest love that you could, the greatest completion of the courtship that you could, or like the sister said in the live stream was having, that's the cherry on top. The cherry on top is, okay, I vetted this woman. This is a woman that I love spiritually. I love mentally. I love her mind. I love the way she thinks. She's a good mother. She's going to do all of this. So that way, when you actually have the sex, it makes the sex that much greater. It makes that sex a million times greater when you done gave everything else to this woman. You done gave your spirit, your mental, everything. You're not afraid. You ain't got no fear. So you ain't got to hold nothing back. It'll be the greatest sex you ever had. But when you don't do that, you don't have that. So Sex is marriage is like people think it's like a scare tactic. It's not a scare tactic. It's really a wake up call. So
cool. So within the ISUPK, if a man, meets a woman or whatever the case may be, he doesn't get like, the typical marriage, you go up to the altar, you say ideals. Are you saying that it's okay for them to have intercourse and it's not a sin?
Yeah, that's not a sin because the marriage certificate of the American marriage certificate is not in the Bible. So it's not like, even in the Bible, they never went before the priest to certify their marriage. They went to the father. That's another thing. I forgot about that. I'm glad you asked that. You go to the father. Why don't you go to the father or to the mother or to the brother or whichever relative would have that type of authority for that woman? Because that's how they did it in the Bible. Jacob didn't go see a priest. Jacob went to Laban, worked out what they had to do with Laban. That's how they got married. So the legal paper, which you can get, like, I'm not against the legal paper. So if you want to get the legal paper, by all means, you can get that legal document. But according to the Bible, if you lay with that woman, that's your marriage by God. Because now here's the flip side. When you bring that legal document into place, according to American law, you can also get legally divorced. And Christ said only for adultery or fornication can you get legally divorced. So if you make the paper the authority, and that woman and man decides to separate for irreconcilable differences, is that what the Bible says? No. So we can't pick and choose which part of the American legal system we want to certify to God. I would just look at God first.
All right. We got a question. 901, it says, do you think that buying items of any kind from gas stations that sell tobacco, condoms, and beer morally correct? Wouldn't that technically be strengthening the hand of an evildoer?
You can't limit that to gas stations. You would have to limit that to everywhere. You can get that at ShopRite. You can go to the supermarket and they selling tobacco, they selling condoms. Condoms ain't unlawful. Beer is not unlawful. The tobacco would be unlawful, but unfortunately, we're under the hands of an oppressor that doesn't govern themselves by God's rules. So at this gas station down the street, they selling weed right in the gas station. Like right in the gas station, you could just get it. So I wouldn't limit the question to gas stations, but you can go buy anything because that's the only options that you have. It's not a sin on you when you go to the store. So, that's unavoidable.
Cool. So with the ISUPK, what is your take on abortions and contraceptive, such as birth control and things like that?
Okay, so birth control is not anything before a child is conceived in the womb is not unlawful. So pulling out is not unlawful. Condoms are not unlawful. Birth control is not unlawful. But on the subject of birth control, what I always like to teach my ladies is I'm not really a strong supporter of birth control because a woman is a natural birth control. And what I mean by that, your body is the birth control. A woman can only get pregnant when she's ovulating. And if you just monitor your body, you ovulate about 12 to 14 days when you get your cycle. So if today is the 17th or whatever day it is, 12 days after that is around the time that you ovulate. And they actually have ovulation kits. They have ovulation apps. Most women, I'm pretty sure, have an app to monitor their cycle. So the same way you can monitor your cycle, you can monitor your ovulation. And if you just pay attention to your body, which goes back to the health questions that you asked, Tony, if you just pay attention to your body, you're the birth control. So, but once that sperm cracks the egg and you are pregnant, we are against abortions. There have been few medical exceptions, like if it endangers the child. Sometimes you can have the baby develop outside of the tube of the I don't want to say the wrong terminology, but if it's outside the tube or outside the what is it, the ovaries, I'm saying it wrong. If it's outside the egg, I'll just say that. If it's born outside and it's a danger, those things are then lawful. But normal, just unalive the uterus. Shout, thank you, DeAndre. I'm glad one sister was paying attention. The uterus, if it grows outside of the uterus, then there's certain scenarios where it's mercy. We wouldn't look at it as abortion, but a normal just going to unalive your baby and stuff like that, we're against that.
Cool. Shelly House asks, can you have wives and girlfriends at the same time?
There's no difference. A wife, we don't believe in girlfriends. If you're intimate with that woman, if you had sex with that woman, that's your wife. You could the closest you can call a girlfriend is a woman you're courting. But most men I know, if you courting her, you say that's wifey right there. You're claiming ownership the minute you start hollering at her. That's even in the world. So we don't believe in girlfriends. It's either a wife or it's not.
Cool. Tanya Renee says, do you believe in only the Old Testament and what parts?
I believe in every part of the Old Testament. Genesis. Well, I believe in the whole Bible. So I believe in Genesis to Revelations. The Apocrypha, which is in the middle, which is Esdras, Second Esdras, Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom of Solomon, First and Second Maccabees. I believe in those two.
All right. SV says, do you believe in the entire New Testament or only the gospel? Also, do you believe that the Holy Ghost moved on Paul in the epistles?
Yes. I believe that the Holy Spirit is in the entire Bible. I'm not one of those idiots that say that Paul's epistles is not the word of the Lord. The New Testament is the word of the Lord as well.
Cool. Appreciate that. I saw a question, but I lost it. Oh man, I've seen some crazy comments though.
I bet you did, man. Damn, lunatics, man. I bet you did see some crazy comments, man.
How do you
no reason? Man, I'm listening.
How do you deal with what comes with social media? Because I know you get the hecklers, I know you get the trolls, I know you get the backstabbers and stuff like that. Even to the people that may be close to us,
right?
You know what I mean, may have some type of jealousy or envy or hate towards us. How do you deal with that? You know what I mean, being that being in the public's eye.
I have a great cocoon first, right? So, the Most High is my guide in everything. So, everything that I do is under Him. Like, I always pray to Him, and I ask Him to put me in the best position to push His word. Christ would become second because He's the King, and then after that, and then now we're on this world or in this plane called Earth. ISUPK is the cocoon that shields me from, because I don't go through all of that. Because I don't, there's no envy in ISUPK. There's no envy, there's no strife. So even though I go through all of that in the world, when I come into the cocoon, which is ISUPK, the brotherhood is so strong that I don't need anybody outside of that. So that's my foundation. That brotherhood, like, and people may not understand the value of brotherhood, but I've been in ISUPK since February of 2010. I have never been disappointed by a brother as far as brotherhood goes in the school. Never experienced jealousy, never experienced envy, never experienced something where I'm looking at this brother sideways because he's looking at the work I'm doing, or I'm looking at the work he's doing, and we looking at each other sideways or anything like that. And that's my saving grace, because when I go outside, I sacrifice myself in this regard. The Lord has used me to put me in spaces that a lot of people don't get to go to. So I've been able to deal with like the Sinettas. Now, Sinetta's another brother. I got to give Sinetta this credit. Sinetta is another brother that me and him have never had a falling out either. So he's a brother that's not in ISUPK, but I would say he's the closest brother I have outside of ISUPK because of the length of time that I've known him, and he's never betrayed me either, ever. So I put him in that category. But then I deal with other people, like I deal with the WAC 100s, and it'd be funny dealing with a brother like WAC because we clash. And I think people, because WAC is a celebrity, look at the way that I deal with him as if it's different if I deal with this guy by the name of Golden Swords. So I'm gonna use these two people as an example, because Golden Swords is an absolute nobody. WAC is an absolute somebody. But I deal with them absolutely the same. So when Golden Sword cusses me out, I don't cuss him back out. It's nothing to me. I just teach the subject and keep it moving. When Wack does the same thing, it doesn't bother me. I just cut him and then I keep it moving. The world cares more about that. So the trolls, it come with the territory. Like, there's no way. Listen, Christ said, remember when they hate you, remember that they hated me first. So Christ did way greater things than anybody. Christ raised the dead and they set him up to get killed. I'm just out here debating. So them saying my mother white, I'm white, them saying I don't take care of my kids, them saying what else? Them saying I'm broke or I'm poor. They talk about my teeth. I mean, they say any and everything that they want to say about me, man.
Yeah, man.
And it means nothing. You know who prepared me for this? I'll tell you. And I say the Lord prepared me for this, right? And I'm going to tell you how I feel he prepared me for it, right? My father, when I grew up, my father was jealous of me growing up. I had a twin sister. For whatever reason, my father was jealous, right? So my father used to do wild shit. We be sitting at the dinner table, and it'd be me, Steph, and Taronda. We sitting at the dinner table. My father be looking at me. I'll do some shit. He'll say, "Hey, y'all, tell Tyree y'all don't love him." That's what my father said at the dinner table. I'm like 8, 9 years old, and my daddy is telling my sister and my brother to say they don't love me, and then they following it because my father telling them that, and I got to sit there and take that shit. My father hung me out a window when I was because he wanted to get drug money. I didn't even remember that shit till I was maybe like 21, something like that. I didn't even know that shit. My sister telling me this shit. And so when I think about the things that my father did, he had me strapped to a bed before. He did a lot of wild things to me. And so the reason why I say the Lord and my father prepared me for it, because when I be out there talking to people, if anybody want to know the secret why nothing bothers me when people say stuff to me and I'm always the same way, you'll never say or do anything worse than what my father did to me. So when you talking, I'm almost like immune to it, to a default sometimes, because sometimes I'll go back and listen to it. I'll be like, damn, maybe you should have said something there, but it didn't bother me at the time. Especially, and here's the other side. It doesn't happen in real life. That's another thing, Tony, you could probably relate to. It never happens in real life. For all the dog talking that they do to me online, when I see them in person, hey, what's up, cat? Oh, what's up, man? What's up? Let's take this picture, man. You want to take this picture? I'm gonna post this on social media, man. Good seeing you, cat. You know I just be playing with you when we be online. We just trolling. I remember, man, when I first got to into this whole world. I remember when they was first talking trash. When I seen them in real life, I remember I'm with my boys in the car. We walking, and I'm seeing the cats. I'm girding up. I'm like, okay, we about to see what he about to say. And then he show his teeth. He's smiling and everything. I'm like, damn. So they faking because now, and just the sidebar, with everything that I said about my father, the flip side about it is my father did a lot of that when he was high. When my father was sober, he was like the greatest nigga on earth. So I have it's weird because I have like 2 memories of my pop. So I have he was this great dad when he was clean version of my pop. And then I got the dirty version of my pop. And so I remember only the great part of my pop. You know why I tell the dirty version of my pop? Because people look at me as a leader, even if they don't believe in being an Israelite. They'll say, Cap, I don't believe what you believe, but I respect in all the works that you do. My story is not special. What I went through with my daddy is not special. A lot of us sons have went through the same thing. So the reason why I tell that story is so when they think that what happened to them, they can't overcome. And then if they look at me at any type of leader or somebody that can inspire, you can see what I overcame. And I overcame that with my father so much when I shared my live stream, when I shared my site, right? My website. So if I go to, let me see. Let me show you how much this means. Let me see. So if I go here, When you go back, I'm gonna share my screen real fast. So I'm gonna show you how much. Let me see. So when you actually look at my screen, is my screen on there?
Yeah, here we go.
All right. So as y'all look at my screen, right? That name on that business right here says Carl Gas Creation. That Carl Gas is my father. So my business is actually named after my father. So that's how much I feel about my father. That's how much I revere my father, because, and my mother plays a part in that. My mother played a part in that too, because my mother taught me how to forgive my father. So I was able to forgive my father, build a bond with my father. So when before my father passed away, we had an excellent relationship. And I personally say that I am my father without the drug use, because the leadership qualities that I possess come directly from my father. And here's what sons need to remember, and daughters. When it comes to your parents, whatever your parents did to you, you're still alive, you're still healthy, and you can recover from it. So if you holding a grudge against your mother and father, just hear my story and maybe you'll stop holding a grudge against your mother and father, because you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for your mother and father. And if you in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and you still got a grudge against your parents, but then you say you love God, God shouldn't respect your love for him if you can't forgive your parents. I just want to read a scripture on that, if you don't mind, Tony. This is in the Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiasticus, the 3rd chapter. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus 3, and I'm gonna start at 10. I'm sorry, 8. It says, honor thy father and thy mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. For the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundation. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. If his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art at full strength. Because if there's anything that you have to remember, the greatest thing your parents ever did was have you. So it can't have been that much of a mistake, because if they a mistake, that means you're a mistake too. And if you keep that mental about you being a mistake, you'll have children, and those children will be mistakes too. And their kids will have kids, and they'll be a mistake too. When do you reverse that curse of thinking that you should think that way? And when we think about the black neighborhood, I always use this phrase. When it comes to the mama, Tupac had that song, even as a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama. When has the deadbeat dad still been a king? But a crack fiend mother can still be a queen. But when has the deadbeat dad ever been a king? Because a crack fiend mama ain't taking care of you. Just like a deadbeat dad ain't taking care of you. So if the crack fiend mama can be a queen, the deadbeat dad can be a king, because they birthed you. And if you reverse that curse, then your kids will get a blessing. Their kids will get a blessing. So I just wanted to add that part. I don't even remember the question. So I think I veered all the way. Oh, you was talking about how you handle the stuff out, like the stuff out here. So to bring it back, all of this stuff is just content on social media.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said. It's when your parents taught you, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And for anybody online, you got to understand, you can't let words hurt you. You don't even, half the time, like right now, if I see, now this ain't no disrespect to any name I'm going to mention. I'm just using y'all as an example. So if I go on Tony's channel, Martin Show, I don't know if he real or not. Family Business, don't know if they real. Tanya Bond. These people that's commenting online, you don't even know if that's a real person on the other side. You don't know if that's a man. You don't know if that's a woman. You don't know if that's a child. You don't know if it's a white man, a black man, an African. It's just a name online until you would actually meet that person. So who cares what they say? That's how I deal with it. Now we face to face or something like that, then it's different. But I don't never go through that face to face.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Same here, man. You know,
definitely.
I've learned to remain humble. I know my first time coming on here, a little popularity happened. You're right. People are going to say certain things.
Right.
So it takes a while to really learn how social media works,
Mm-hmm.
When you're putting this stuff out. Because, those who don't have, like, platforms, whatever the case may be like this, they don't understand, in the beginning times. It may be a little rough for you because you're new to it. And you got to adjust to it, just like the chat room. People, I see some people say some off the wall stuff.
Right.
Word is you can't let it bother you.
You can't
for the most part, because you don't want to lose your cool and things of that nature.
Right.
You know what I mean? All right. So
before you bring him on, just so everybody know, because people in my chat is messaging me with screenshots they on the live. This is not for my chat. I'm only taking people from Tony's chat. I said that in the beginning. I said 5 people from Tony's chat. So I got brother salute me. Y'all bashing my shop rockethy. Hit a screenshot. I need that all. This ain't for y'all. This is not for y'all. This is for the people on Tony's platform. 5 people on Tony's platform is gonna get the oil. Just so y'all know. You can go ahead.
Cool, appreciate that. So Sid Rada, you got a question?
Oh yeah. My bad. I was kind of busy. Yeah. I was just wondering, Kat, because I kind of listened to you talk a little bit, man, and I was wondering, does all of that, like what you were saying about the kids and everything, does all that applies to everybody, right? Because I know there's different laws that you apply to just Israelites, right? Like
when you say everybody, you talk about what I said about parenting and kids, should that apply to humanity?
Yes, sir.
That is a concept that could apply. I mean, anybody listening to that's going through that and decide to do something about that could apply to them.
Yeah. And then, but as since you're an Israelite, I've heard you kind of say that Israelites should treat Israelite women different, right?
Different in what way?
And what say I'm an Israelite man and I'm with a non-Israelite woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do those concepts as a man being an Israelite still apply to that woman even though she's not an Israelite?
You mean as far as his responsibilities to her because he done laid and had sex with her and all of that?
Yep, that that and also this is my wife and I can just have a girlfriend on the side. Like
you cannot have a girlfriend on the side.
Exactly. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so if an Israelite man married a non-Israelite woman before they had knowledge that they only supposed to marry an Israelite, he's supposed to be a husband to her.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So it kind of applies to everything. And then because I kind of heard you.
But if you do that in the truth, you're sinning, just so you know.
Say it again.
Meaning if you have knowledge that you're only supposed to marry an Israelite and then you go marry a non-Israelite, that's a sin.
That's a sin.
Yeah, you can't be in our school if you do that.
And then I think I heard you. I listened to a debate, man, that was going on, and this is my last one. Then I'm gonna just listen from the side. But
no problem.
I've heard you say that if you see a white child that's in need, that you wouldn't help the child. Correct me if I'm wrong, bro, and everything, because I know you keep 1,000, bro, and yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Did you say like if you see a white child that's
yes, Anetta asked me, he said, if you see this little white baby and he's hungry, would you feed him? And I said no.
Yeah, so how does that apply to, like, say if I'm an Israelite, not even applying to you, say if I'm an Israelite, right? And I have a white, well, damn, but you already answered my question. If you're an Israelite and you know that you're not supposed to be marrying that's a sin.
No, let's say if you married to a white woman,
okay,
right? And you didn't know, but now that you know, but you don't divorce the woman, your children aren't white, your children are black. Well, whatever. Okay. Are you black?
I'm black, yeah.
Yeah, so your children will be black in that case. But in the case of, let's say a black woman has kids with a white man, them kids can't come to the feast day. Them kids ain't coming to the Passover. Them kids is outside. That white man is outside. That white woman, that's your wife, she's not coming to the Passover.
Yeah. And that and I see you saying, don't just apply to white folks. You mean like just anything that's not Israelite, right?
Right. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, man, you waking me up, brother. That's all I needed, Tony, man. Thank you, brother.
No sweat. I
That's what I got.
All right, we got a question from the chat. It says, how can a man know if he is an Israelite, and how can you identify what tribe he is based in his ethnicity?
So what we do is, let's say you so-called black or Mexican or something like that. When you come to class, we kind of, so it's spiritual and physical. So we would check your family history to see what tribe, what ethnicity your background goes. So we may ask about your father's father, XYZ, like that. And then depending on what they are. So like, let's say you might think you black, but you find out that you're Native Indian, you still an Israelite, but then your tribe is Gad or your tribe is Seminole Indian. You might think you Puerto Rican, you find out you're Dominican. Like Sarnetta thought he was Dominican, found out he's Puerto Rican. Like I know a lot of people think Sarnetta is black. Sarnetta's father is Puerto Rican, his mother's black. So that's how we do it. So you come to class, we go through your family history, and then we'll show which tribe you're from that way. That's how we do it.
All right, cool. So 901 says, if two married people are following the laws of the Old Testament culture of holiness, what do they do if she's on her cycle and y'all sleep in the same house? Do they throw away the bed once a month?
You know, I'm actually glad you asked that question, because I remember when I came into the truth, and brothers, you know, brothers go over the top sometimes with women, man. I feel sorry. I be feeling sorry for some of you sisters when y'all get some of these Israelite brothers, and I start hearing they be like, he don't let me sleep in the bed. I gotta sleep on the floor. And I've heard horror stories. So when a woman is on a cycle, you're unclean. When she touches, you're unclean. The unclean, though, only applies to if you're coming into the church or to the congregation, or if you're going to do the work of the Lord. So let's say if she's on a cycle, but you're not going to class, you're not going around brothers or anything like that, her uncleanness doesn't mean anything, because you're not going to the school, you're not going into a temple, you're not going nowhere. It's just like if you have sex, if you have sex, you unclean if you have sex. But if you ain't going nowhere, it doesn't mean anything. Now, let's say if you go into the temple, let's say you go into the school, then she shouldn't have to suffer. You just go sleep on the couch or do something like that, man. You ain't got to throw the bed away. I don't even know what that means, throw the bed away. And because you got to look at it too, the way that they clean, the way that the women clean themselves today was different than back then also. So even though she's unclean, if you're not going through the temple, she don't have to sleep on the floor or anything like that.
Cool. All right. Another question. Family Business asks, is a black woman who targets a man for a baby to qualify for access to resources from the government, is that unlawful?
That is not unlawful unless, let's say if she has a man, if she got multiple baby daddies already, meaning she already had men, and if she's not planning on staying. So, and here's what's more important. Black men should be aware. That was one thing Deion Sanders did that was right. Deion Sanders had bought that fast woman there to try to teach them college kids a lesson about these type of women. Like if Anthony Edwards had control of his rod, he wouldn't be going through what he's going through right now, where he talking about, I don't even want no damn rights. And here's the crazy part. The reason why he's fighting to not have the rights is because the woman is trying to change her her home address from a Georgia one to a California one, because the California one will give her more money. So now when you ask the question, is a black woman that targets a man to qualify for resources is unlawful, the only thing that makes it unlawful is if after she's had sex with him, if she sleeps with another man. Let's say if she does all those things, but she never sleeps with another man, all she did was trick a man. And the scripture said a wicked woman is given to a wicked man as a portion. So this is more so a warning to men on who you choose to lay with, which when I was saying earlier, Umar Johnson, what we found out with Umar Johnson is just like every other brother in the black neighborhood that don't know how to pick a woman. Facts. He said it. He said, I downloaded this video. He said, I'm gonna see if I got it to play. I'm gonna tell you what he said. Because he's trying to clean up his act now because he realizing how foolish he looked. Let me see if I got this here. Hold on. Let me see if I got. I'm gonna see if I can play this.
Is because
this what Umar Johnson now saying. Now he was talking big trash, big Papa Smurf and Mama Smurf, and we gonna sit down and do all of this. Now listen to what Umar Johnson is saying. Watch this.
the situation I'm going through right now is because at that time, 14 years ago and 23 years ago, I did not have the respect for the sacredness of the black woman's vagina like I should have.
Now, the fact that he said he didn't have the sacredness for the black woman's vagina like he should have, that's him capping for women. Because what he should have said, I didn't have the respect of black women like I should have. I didn't have control of my rod like I should have. Because maybe if he would have had that control, even if he would have laid with him, he would have stayed with him, because Umar Johnson is looked at as the black what is the word I'm looking for? The apex black man in the black community of what a man is supposed to be, even though he's not currently married, but he's having sex though. So when you ask a question like that, it's not as simple as, is it unlawful? Because the only thing that makes it biblically unlawful is if she has a man or if she sleeps with a man afterwards. But the wiles or the ways of that woman, black men have to pay attention to, because we know those black men exist. Excuse me, those type of women exist. Those type of women. It's a woman in the NBA this is a woman that got like 2 baby daddies in the NBA right now, and 1 in the NFL. What killed me the most, and this, remember earlier I said black women will stop being 304s when we stop loving 304s. What is the obsession? Black men, this is for y'all. What is the obsession with sleeping with the same woman when you got money? Think about that. These entertainers all sleep with the same woman. It's almost homosexual to me. To like, because when you think about it, we swear that we can't get the woman we want because we ain't got money. And then these black men get the money, and then the woman they want is the woman that was just with this other cat. And you know she was a gold digger then, but for some reason, that's what you want. That's why the Bible says a wicked woman is given to a wicked man as a portion, because why is 3 cats sleeping with the same woman who's only pretty?
Yeah.
Now she's pretty, but she done already got a baby by these 2 cats, and you like, it's gonna be right when I get her. And then now it ain't even right when you get it. I never understood that. And it ain't just ball players, entertainers. Listen, Kanye West married Kim Kardashian because he saw her get effed by Ray J. That's why he married her. Just imagine you watching porn, and because you see her blow another man's rod, you say, I want to marry that.
Wow.
Black men have an insane demon on them when it comes to porn, which is a lot of that. Like the porn industry is such a detriment to black people. It's especially black men. It teaches black men to devalue sex. They look at it like, if she ain't giving up to me in 2 days, I'm gonna just go buy it. I'm gonna go buy it, because according to the porn, I just walk in there and it's just there. It's just a naked woman in the room. So why, when I talk to this woman, why is she not in the room naked? The education of black men sexually is a bigger question than what the woman is doing, because the woman, although she controls you entering in her, the pursuit of that woman is controlled by you, and you pursuing hoes says more about you than it says about her receiving it. Just to answer that question.
Wow. Another question from Sir Ryder. It says, Action, do you believe a man should take care of another man's child if he's with the woman, Israelite or not?
Before I answer that, when the Great said these are just black problems, no, but these are black issues that we're talking about. So when I'm talking, I don't care. Like the white woman is the original 304. There ain't nobody more of a 304 than the white woman, but we ain't talking about white people right now. We talk about our people. So do you believe a man should take care of another man's child if he's with the woman, Israelite or not? That's a thin line because number one, you don't want to disrespect the father of the child. You don't want to confuse the man. Excuse me, you don't want to confuse the child because you're walking into a broken home. And that home is still broke even when you're there. And most people think that the home is not broken. The home is broken because the child, although you can be a father figure to him, the child would rather grow up with the mother and the father that birthed him. He don't want you. He don't want the father. He don't want the step-in father. He don't want the step-in mother. He wants his parents to be together. So with that said, when you come in, you are like, it's like a big brother relationship. It's like a mentor relationship. So do you have to take care of them? If you're with the woman, you can't avoid not taking care of, especially if you're living there. But you're not a father because he has a father. I hope that answers the question.
Did you hear that, Sir
Yeah,
Ryder?
that do kind of answer the question. So you're not the biological father, but you are the father if he's not there, right?
You're a mentor. You're like a big brother. You're not the father. Let's say so. Like I'm speaking from personal experience. So I raised a son that was not mine, right? Yeah. I didn't tell him call me dad, and I actually built the relationship with his father because he asked me to. That's how I know you don't. How I know that the home is still broken.
Yeah,
is that boy came to me, and at 7 years old, asked me if I could fix the issues between him and his mother. That's what he asked me. Put me in a damn spot. Like I'm like, God damn, I gotta go do this now. And because I grew up in a broken home, because he asked me that, I did it. So then I built the relationship. So I would be the go-between. When they couldn't communicate with each other, I would step in and do that. That's why I say you're a mentor. You're like a brother. You're not the father because he has a father.
I think in that sense, you're right. But how old was the child in that sense?
7.
What about from the beginning?
I don't know. Well, if they're younger, is the father still around? Father's
still around, but he's not around.
I don't know what that means. He's either
like
around.
You got with the girl and she's pregnant, and the father he's probably out of state or something.
So why are you getting with a girl when she's pregnant?
You just fell in love. This ain't me. I'm just, you know what I mean?
I don't know. You saying this thing. You saying this thing. You
Nah. That ain't me. I know people in that situation. I know people in that situation, and I know like the kids.
Wait, what is it about? You see the woman with the belly, you know she prayed. Let me get that. I think that's good. That's a bad investment. Like, hey, Sir Ryder, that's some freaky ass. You see how I talk about these freaky niggas? Hey, ladies, y'all better watch out for Sir Ryder. Because that's a freaky ass question that Sir Ryder just asked.
My females know, man. I can't. That's why I was asking you. Because I can't take care of another man's child, but I be seeing some.
It sounds like you getting it in the womb.
Nah. I do want to ask, and this is kind of off topic because I kind of heard you say this is like I think a few weeks ago, but it's kind of on topic though. But so do you believe that your father is more human than you?
I don't understand that question.
Because when God is the head of Christ, Christ is the head of man. That's why it's kind of off topic, and I don't want to like throw people off. But it's like I do remember you saying like when there was a debate going on, you were saying that since Jesus has the same essence as God, you're saying that
no Jesus. I ain't never said that.
No, not you. The debate. No, not you. But you were saying since you're subordinate to somebody, that means that you don't have the same essence as him. You have the same essence as your father. It was kind of like on one of your card things. You was like your father is more human than you because he's your father. But in the scripture, when he says that Jesus, that God the Father is the head of Christ, they still have the same essence.
Brother, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
You don't know in the scripture where it says Jesus and Christ have the same essence?
No.
All right, 1 second.
Yes. You might, I think where you might be wanting to go is maybe Hebrews, the 1st chapter.
What does it say? I can find it. I can find where I'm going to.
I think that's what you're referring to. Hebrews 1 and might be 3. It says, and who being the brightness of his glory and express image of his person and upholding all things by the word of power when he had purged himself. I think in different translations, let me see the ESV. He is the
What was that verse?
Say what? Hebrews 1.
What was that verse you said?
Hebrews 1 and 3.
1 and 3. Let me see. That might be the one. Somebody help me out, man, because I ain't really too. I just heard you when it was like since you're subordinate to your son or not even your son is subordinate to you, or that doesn't make them more human than you. Just like how
we're all so just to try to sum it up and answer the best way. We're all human. Christ was human.
Right.
Being subordinate has nothing to do with whether you're human or not. It's just rank and order. So the head of every man is Christ. The head of Christ is God. But even amongst men, there's rank amongst us. So there's men that outrank me, but we're still all. I don't think I'm human, but that's just my spiritual talk there. But physically, I'm human. Spiritually, I'm not. That's just me personally.
Spiritually, you're human?
No, I said spiritually, I'm not human. Physically, I'm human.
That's all I really had, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta read it.
Are you smoking right now?
Huh?
You smoking right now?
Come on, man. This is me, man.
I'm just asking. Can you give me?
Yeah.
You said you are smoking?
Yes, sir.
I'm good at that. I'm good at telling when a nigga is talking and smoke, because I used to smoke.
Yeah.
You got bigger problems, boy. You trying to kill yourself?
You eat what you think smoking is gonna kill me faster?
What you smoking?
I'm smoking this cone right now.
What's a cone? I don't know what that is.
It's paper.
You say you smoking a vapor?
It's paper. It's weed wrapped in some whiskey leaf, wrapped in some
like
whiskey
cancer
leaf.
or something like that, right?
Marijuana is cancer.
The paper and marijuana is like you should do research on the dangers of smoking marijuana.
I feel you on
and
that
the
one.
paper. Yeah, that's a demon. You know, a demon's job is to kill you. So the more you smoke, the more you saying, I want to die.
Straight up.
Yeah. Straight up.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. I don't think so, because you still smoking, ain't you?
I'm about to do it right now. I'm about to pass it to my bro right now.
Bro, you say you're gonna pass it to who?
I'm about to pass it to my bro right now.
So you gonna kill your brother?
I'm killing my brother.
Now he want to help with the homicide. Now
he got a car. He's prescribed.
That what does that make it better? That don't make it
It's
better.
It's helping him.
I'll be with y'all. If you have medical conditions that require marijuana, you do not smoke it. When you smoke it, it changes the principles of it. The medicine is a plant. You don't smoke it. Yeah, you're not supposed to smoke it, and you have to have a medicinal reason for it. The problem when it comes to black people, we self-medicate when it comes to weed for some reason because we drug addicts. You just a junkie.
I'm just a junkie.
That's it.
I'm an electrician by trade, man.
And a junkie at night. You're a junkie.
What's your day-to-day food like?
It depends. Like right now, earlier I was saying I don't eat a lot. I cut down my red meat a lot. I haven't eaten red meat in a long time. I usually eat probably once, maybe twice a day. But for the most part, once a day. I intermittent fast, so I don't eat until after I work out. So in the morning I get up. I usually hit the gym about 11. Take my pre-work about 11:30. So that's technically when the fast starts, and then I try to stop eating by 8 o'clock at night.
There we go. You said you should look up on what red meat does to you.
I just said I don't know where. Well, red meat is like the longest digesting meat that exists.
Yes, sir.
Right. That weed didn't tell you that though.
I read that. That's why I don't eat it.
Yeah, stop smoking weed, brother. Do the research on that weed smoke, brother. That's more dangerous than that red meat. And don't be a junkie.
Hey, good look at Tony, man. Cap, bro. I salute you, bro. I swear to God, just how real you keep it, bro. You're my dog right here, bro. We salute,
no
bro.
Sweat, brother. No
yes,
sweat.
sir. Yes,
brother.
sir.
All right, peace.
Cool, peace. All right, we're gonna take one more question from the chat room, and I don't know if you're good for the last person to come.
Yeah, I'll take one more question from the. However you order it, I'll take Patterson. He'll be last, and then one more question, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, we're gonna take it from the chat room first. All right, Family Business says, what do you see the issues with the Black community regarding their marriage rate at 24%? What do you see that Black women should do to fix it?
Black women can't fix this problem. Black men have to fix this problem, and this is kind of what we've been talking about all day. Black women got to take Black men got to take the Black community by the horns. We've seen Black women running the community like. They removed the Black man out the house, and we're seeing the ramifications of the Black man being out of the house. So now Black men have to come and take charge and put value on what Black relationships are. Marriage, again, I'm a different person when it comes to marriage, but I'm not a different person when it comes to commitment. For everybody in the chat that will probably disagree with my lifestyle, I guarantee you my marriage is longer than all of y'all's. Guaranteed. Guaranteed if y'all put y'all years that y'all were married, it wouldn't match. And because of my concept and belief in the Most High is why the marriages are like that. So in order to fix the Black community, you have to bring God into the Black community. And I mean the true God that gave this book to the children of Israel, that gave us a moral code to live by. That moral code would fix us as to what marriage is. It would fix us to what Black families is, raising Black children, reversing the curses, doing all those things. That's what it would do. So that's my answer to the question. But we can't blame Black women. We can't blame we can't say that Black women have to fix the problem, but Black women have to get out of the way of Black men fixing it. That's what we can say.
Cool. Patterson, you up? You got a question?
Yeah, peace. Y'all can hear me pretty good, or is it staticky?
You good?
Okay. This could be for both your first question. Are y'all Giants fans?
Nah.
I'm not admitting that on camera.
Nah, I'm a Giants fan. But sports, football, boxing, soccer, has been traced to Greek and Roman pagan games. If Israelites watch that, would that be considered hypocrisy?
Sports is not a sin. So playing football is not a sin. Playing basketball is not a sin. So those things are not a soccer is not a sin.
Well, I mean, as far as in where they trace the games back to, like, I don't know where your studies go, but it's been traced that football, soccer, and boxing.
I would have to read
Roman
whatever you're talking about. The boxing probably is very simple because it goes back to like the Colosseum.
Right.
I think they used to fight naked, which is what would make it unlawful, being naked. But fighting is not a sin.
Right. When I used to do security at the soccer field, thinking Harrison Red Bull Stadium, there's a hall they call Vomitorium Hall. Vomitorium Hall is where the Greeks ate and they vomit food up and so forth and so on. Upon my studies, the other question is we read in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, Jesus said, "Don't call no man fool or raka." Now, going to rap battles, I used to rap myself, but going to rap battles and hearing people calling themselves, fool, the N-word, I'm gonna kill this, I'm gonna call that. Wouldn't that be hypocrisy as well?
No, because it's not real. You're not literally calling them a fool. When they rap battle, after the battle is over, they dap each other up and it's over. It's a sport. It's not like, let's say, if you and I as real life brothers get into it and then I do those things to you, that's real. Battle rap is not real.
What was so funny was I saw a rap battle. This white dude called the other dude the N-word. He got
That's
punched.
different.
He got punched in.
That's different. Listen,
Yo.
I put that on my page. He said something like saying I can't say the N-word, and then he said my N-word. Pop. He learned that lesson that day. There's some rules that you can't break, and a white person calling a brother the N-word, you can't break that one. That's different.
Okay, yeah, that's all I had to say.
All right,
You have a blessed night.
You as well.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
Hey man, Tony, it was actually a really good show. The questions, I want to give a shout out to your chat that gave the questions, because those is good questions. I think this is one of the better ones where we got to talk about family and stuff like that. And so I appreciate you having me on, man.
Sure, no problem, man. Anytime, man.
All right, man. You take care.
You too, man.
All right, later.
Peace.
Let me go ahead and exit out. Boom. Let me bring myself up here. Yeah, man. Y'all see my lion over here? I gotta raise this up a little bit. See that? I'm gonna put the lion. I'm gonna try to angle the lion. Listen. What's funny is I had this hung up over there the whole time. Since I moved here, this lion been over there, and I never thought to put this lion right here. But now I got the lion here. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get a good angle for the lion so y'all can see. Maybe put it at an angle. Maybe put it like. I'm gonna see if I can move all of this stuff up. Move this up. Move that. Maybe put it like this or something. I don't want to cover up I don't want to fight the vibe of the fish tank either. But at least y'all can see the whole thing, the Lion of Judah. Then I can put my belt right back here. Put the belt here. Let me see. You got to flip the camera. There's a wall behind. What? So there's a wall. I'll see about that. Let me see. So I'm gonna see about I'm gonna see how I'm a freak it. That's the words we say. I'm gonna see how I'm a freak it. So we'll see. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I did 3 live streams today. This has been a busy day, man. A busy day. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Is it 11 o'clock? It's 11 o'clock. Good night. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I'm gonna do a Car Chronicles tomorrow, but don't be asking me to do no live streams. I might have this fire live stream tomorrow, though. Then I'm gonna be joining with my brother Tommy. So look forward to that. So until next time, Shalom Israel.